to disagree with Dan Sanomari, know that the Jubilee government actually delivered on the 4 agenda, which is what? In agriculture, for instance, there is no price that William Ruto is going to give us that is better than the price that CS Munya gave us when he was leaving office. The only reason why fertilizer that is supposed to be costing 2,500 is not available yet is because of cartels. These cartels that our good lawyer and my senior, Dan Sanomari, says that William Ruto knows them and will kick them out of government, just like Kibaki era. I'd like to tell him, unfortunately, William Ruto knows these people not as the enemies that he's going to fight, but as the friends that he keeps. Well, why do I say so?
I think that's an
why do I say so? I have evidence. Because the same William Ruto whom he's saying was a minister for agriculture, so knows the problems within agriculture and will resolve them, is the very one who the same Kibaki that he's praising fired from office for being corrupt, eating money that belonged to farmers, money that was belonging to maize farmers. That is how William Ruto was fired as a cabinet secretary, and even Martha Karua said, you know what, I cannot work with you. So, and he was fired because cartels had taken a lot of money from the Ministry of Agriculture. If I am lying, I can even produce maybe a Daily Nation copy that shows that William Ruto was fired from cabinet as a minister for agriculture for being involved in corruption that involved a huge sum of money that involved maize. The maize that he's talking about making available at a low price. And not forgetting that when the Jubilee government was exiting power, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, he lowered the price of unga to 100. Unga was available just for a short period of time. It was not a campaign strategy. In reality, what happened is that the unga could not be sustained at 100 shillings because farmers were hoarding maize. And why were they hoarding maize? They were hoarding maize because at the time at which the Jubilee administration, Uhuru Kenyatta's administration, about a week to elections, lowered the price of unga from 200 to 100 bob, farmers had just finished harvesting their maize. And I'm talking as a farmer who had also just harvested our maize back in Lusengeli, and the maize were drying, so the maize could not go to the millers so that the unga could be quickly repackaged to be sold at 100 shillings. So if tomorrow the price of unga goes to 100 shillings, please do not credit William Ruto, credit Uhuru Kenyatta. Why? The price was already lowered by CS Munya, and what is happening is that now the maize has dried. I'm from home. The ugali I ate yesterday, ya kisiagi, is ugali that we took to the millers. Are we together? Okay. In fact, just a month, when unga prices were at 100 shillings, my family was happy we were buying it at 100 shillings. And at that time, my mother, whose planting season, where maize is not their main commodity, their planting season, and unfortunately, Luo Nyanza, Homa Bay, where my mom lives, maize is not their cash crop. But in Western, Kitale, and Rift Valley, where maize is their cash crop, at the time when they were reducing it to 100, the maize was now fresh from the farm, being dried, so it could not be taken to the millers. But in Luo Nyanza, where it is not their season, so they just, if you live near the river like my mom, your maize will come out anytime. So my mom is the one who would supply our Maragoli home with what? With maize. So what Danson is telling us is a lie. Number two, the very same cartels, we hope that he will tell them, you guys are my friends, because remember, he was fired for being corrupt in the Ministry of Agriculture. Well, let's hear from this is my prayer, that when he is appointing a cabinet secretary for agriculture, that he just becomes reasonable and actually retains CS Munya. Why? Because of CS Munya's regime, we have now what we call a potato commission, something that did not exist. This potato commission, let me finish. This potato commission is currently taking potatoes from farmers in Kenya and providing direct market to foreign countries that require potatoes. This CS Munya that now we are going to talk very dirty about for the next 2 days that we are discussing cabinet is the same CS Munya who struck a deal between Kenya and China for us to be producing avocados. Why haven't we started producing avocados? Because avocados take 5 years to grow. I am a farmer. We have avocados in our farm. In the next 3 years, we will be supplying avocados to China. So
I think you've gone you've gone quite far. In fact, we were just looking at the cost of living.
It's the cost of living.
We did, and we also took a look at. We also did take a look at the cabinet issue. Yes. But this must let me give you an opportunity because you want to respond to that.
You know, scholars and practitioners are not agreed on the definition of leadership. But generally speaking, leadership is about painting a global picture. Now, in the context of Kenya, The president paints a global picture of where he wants Kenya to go and aligns financial resources as well as human capital. And the buck stops with the leader. In this case in Kenya, if anything goes wrong in Kenya, the person you're supposed to look for and ask a million questions is President Kenyatta, because that is where the buck stops. Now, if you've got a food crisis in Kenya, the buck stops with President Kenyatta. It doesn't stop with the cabinet secretaries. It doesn't stop with the deputy president. Now, for the last 5 years, anybody who's been around in Kenya knows that the deputy president has not been in the decision-making table. The people who've been taking decisions is President Kenyatta and his brother. Therefore, it's unfair to blame William Ruto for situations that have taken place over the 5 years, because he was not in the inner sanctum. He was not taking decisions. And you recall during his campaign, he said, part of the reason why we have all these insecurities about the high cost of fertilizer, the high cost of unga, is state capture. There are a number of prominent personalities working in cahoots with people in government have created artificial shortages they've done so many things which do not serve Mora's interest. That it's because of state capture that you have this fertilizer insecurity, that you have food insecurity. And they say that the first thing he's going to do is to dismantle the architects of state capture and dismantle those systems. So in my view, let's give him time, because he's an insider. He understands the system very well.
All right.
So give him 1 year. Then if he doesn't deliver within 1 year, then we can actually say that he was giving us fake promises.
All right.
But as it is now, you cannot take that to the bank. And if you use the example of President Kibaki, because when President Kibaki was a deputy president, we did not realize his full potential. But as soon as he became the president, then we saw 10 years which were amazing. So in my view, in Kenya, where the buck stops is with the governors. If a county fails, blame the governor. If the nation fails, blame the president. And you know, these scholars I said, and practitioners, they've said a nation is going to rise or a nation is going to fall because of the leader. Now, if you have a leader who comes with the priorities which are not aligned with the national interest, which are not aligned with the public interest, but they are aligned with these selfish interests, then there's a very high chance you're going to have all these issues taking place. Like, for instance, whatever CS Munya did with President Kenyatta, it would have not taken place without President Kenyatta's approval. Because at the end of the day, he's the one who was given the executive authority by Mura to run Kenya. Everybody else below President Kenyatta serves at his pleasure and runs with his thinking.